some kind of a discussion which is mostly, you can say, based on our own experience and some kind of a prescription from the experienced people, which is documented as some publications, manuscripts, and so on and so forth. So this is about intentional inclusion of digital pedagogies for our own teaching that way. Right? There are many aspects, there are many methods, there are strategies, there are challenges, and so on and so forth. And I think that in the past, many speakers would have touched this topic. So this might be taken as some kind of a rediscussion on that. And I will try to touch upon few of the aspects which I have understood better. And you can add it on a few more things. So what I may not actually go into is outcome-based evaluation or teaching, outcome-based teaching. So I think some other speaker would have covered it. So we may have the digital version of Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy, and so on and so forth. So I would like to skip that, and if time permits in the future, we may actually discuss that way. Right? Let's go ahead. So the kind of thing is, why should we deploy the pedagogies and digital pedagogy? Digital pedagogy is nothing but it is a kind of impact of technology, or using technology as an enabler for your pedagogy, right? So you can say it is technology enabled pedagogy. Where pedagogy comes first and technology comes second one, right? So I think this is a very timely quote by Kauravs. It says technology will not replace great teachers, but the technology in the hands of great teacher can be transformational. It's just a motivation for all of us teachers that we should deploy the technology enablers while we teach that way, right? So if you think people or the students nowadays are quite digitally naive, the fact is they are device fluent. They learn the device very well, but they are not very digitally literate actually, right? So that's our duty to actually handhold and keep that part and do that way. The post-pandemic era has actually seen that how the technology can actually help us in distress time. So why not use technology for your normal times? That's the main thing, right? So the skills gap are there. So we have to just go about that part. So the terms is what is the technology? What are we going to use? And why should we use it? Because it is student centric, and we have many tools by which it promotes the self-learning. And the main idea is pedagogy leads actually, and technology follows. It's a technology enabled pedagogy. It's not that we are subservient to the technology that way, right? So they have coined some word about uh, SMAR, which is the kind of four-step uh, paradigm, and TPAC is also merging of your knowledge, technology, and pedagogy, all three. So we'll see in the future slide, the next slides, what do we mean by these two models for that part. So SMR is nothing but there is a substitution. So the technology is a substitute for whatever work we are doing, right? So we started using very well the MS Word or some other MS Perfect one. So in place of typewriter, very old time. And otherwise, technology can provide us some augmentation where inside the MS Word, now we have not only spell check, very old one. Now we have the citation help in Word itself. You can generate citation using MS Word and import, import, export your different citation in your document that way. So this is announcement, technology announcement or technology supported announcements, which is substitution and augmentation. The transformation means our methods get changed actually, right? So technology may allow the kind of task redesign. What are you doing is actually change the way you do. Your ways are main. So the kind of uh, ways are changed actually. The way we do the task, they are changed, right? Ways to do a task are changed. Design. Redefinition simply means that you are no longer doing the same task. You have some different task now because of the kind of impact of the technology. So you now haven't listened for podcast in the past by a teacher, or you can say you have never listened to kind of a flip classrooms earlier because technology has given us. So now your delivery is flipped. You have the contents already uploaded. Students come prepared and you actually evaluate in the class, or you have some active learning based kind of thing in the class, and so on and so forth. So technology has redefined our task actually, no? Redefine the task, what you are doing. So this is SMR model because of technology impact. And this is TPEC model saying that there is a content, there is a pedagogy, there is a technology, and whenever we have impact of technology, these two which we already had earlier now are impacted by technology, and then the model they say is a TPAC, which is convergence of all three, convergence of all three, right? So content dissemination is dependent on technology. We use that help and facilitation of technology. Pedagogy, we use the help and facilitation of technology. And all the way, this is SMR, no? The SAMR, modification redefinition, because of technology impact in both ways, for the content and for the pedagogy, both way. So this reference you can actually read for the details one, the TPAC model. This is the kind of outcome based paradigm where you already have the learning outcomes, and you are actually designing your learning activities, and then you are actually designing your assessment to measure the outcomes through evaluation of activities and the outcomes that way. That's what we do for outcome based part that way. So what has changed is the kind of traditional model we was focusing on the content. Now the content has been wide pervading, easily available to everybody. Hence the focus is on activity, right? So group activity or the peer activity and the in-class activity. So learning by doing in a say, or gamification for that purpose, or learning that way, right? So earlier the students were consumer of our products, the content and the talks, the other kind of part there. But now we have the content coming to student, wide pervasive medias. So now students are creator of their own activity and their own learning path that way, because they have choice. They have choice, right? Now the learning is also in the group, so it's more social, less private that way. Only thing which is still there is assessment. Only thing is with technology impact, the method of assessment has been changing. It is much more, you can say, comprehensive in the say, you can say, and it is also more challenging because a teacher has to learn the kind of support system for assessment, the online assessment, the quiz design, and so on and so forth, the different methods. And he has to deploy all different medias for gamification and so on and so forth. So assessment is there. The earlier it was the assessment of learning. Now the assessment itself is a learning. So the paradigm has changed actually, right? Assessment also is designed for as a part of learning that way. So you can incorporate the design thinking in that part, which is something of understanding your learners. So it is basically learner centric, and you have to learn. We have to learn what are the profile of a learner, slow learner, fast learners, and we actually you can say dovetail our own ways, the delivery and the assessment for all kind of learners. And a learner can learn in this paradigm of technology enhanced learning or the pedagogy at its own pace, at its own place, and so on and so forth, right? So we have to define the challenges to do that, right? And we have to design multiple learning methods and methodologies, and we should be having a kind of a continuous feedback and interaction all through the learning part of it. So we should have the forums and other kind of tools for continuous interaction that way. So it is actually learning by doing an iteration for a student, that part that way. So these are the shift in roles of every uh, stakeholder in the teaching learning. A teacher is now just not a imparter of content. He is facilitator for learning for a student, and the student actually by its own understanding, he actually could come up with his own view of what he has learned and be able to describe that in form of he can describe this in form of either the term papers, the projects, and even he can opine on the way he is assimilating things and what new can come up that way. Classrooms are not just teacher driven, they are the collaborative platforms nowadays. So we apply the active learning strategies, no peer learning, the kind of all active learning methods we deploy nowadays. So we wanted some people from active learning group from Pune. So we could not contact them in time. So there is actually a good group who is an offset from IT Bombay. They are called Active Learning Group, right? They are Pune based. So you can look at their own recommendations and their propositions for what they propose, and we can incorporate few of those techniques of active learning in our own delivery of that part there. So some of these are think, pair, share. It's a kind of learner has its own learning path, and he has his own thought. Then two of them can be in a group, and they can come up with their own, you can say, assimilation and the outcome of what they have assimilated, and then they can share it with the group, and there could be a group kind of evaluation that way. There could be peer learning also, and this is the example based or case based learning that way. This is a design thinking part where we have problem solving based learning or design based learning that way. Flip learning is, of course, the content delivery is outside the class, at the home or at the residence of the learners. So learner at his own place, at his own time, at his own convenience learns through the content which are online and available to him. 24 hours. And in the class, it is usually peer discussion and active learning techniques deployed by the teacher. And this is basically the group learning. So mastery through collaboration. The peer learning is very fast, and it is most really increasing because of the learners do not have the hiccup in talking to each other that way. Sometimes learners have hesitation of asking and interacting with the teacher in the quiz, that their questions may be silly or something else, right? Assessment, and we have to use digital tools very wisely, of course, that way. Uh, this is something, some tools which we could deploy for various activities. For collaboration, we have Google Docs, which can be edited by multiple people simultaneously. For assessment, we have LMS based support, or if you want to go for that, you have Google Forms and Survey Monkeys, and you have these two also, which are all AI driven for assessment. Content creation, AI is also incorporated for Canva, which gives you many media generation, and you can deploy other things also. Microsoft Teams is a good collaborative platform where it is also takes the form of LMS. Basically, it was designed for collaborative teams for uh, corporate learning and corporate delivery. But during COVID time, they just metamorphize it into LMS. And now, as a teacher, I have an access to Teams, a free version of Teams, where I can communicate to my group and do it. Slack is a collaborative platform for communication among a group or collaborative task that way. So what should be a strategy that way is a flipped classroom. We have to adapt to what is the current scenario, because the content is available to a student, right, online, from the best universities and from the best teachers and so on and so forth. So it's better to go for a flipped classroom. Flipped classroom simply means that your activities in earlier classroom and at residence of the learner, they are flipped actually. Earlier, we delivered the content in the class and gave the assessment for residence, assessment or quizzes or those tasks for evaluation. Now, flipped classroom simply means that in classroom, the learner will learn at his own place. So he will come with reading of the contents, and when he comes to the class, it will be assessment based learning. So that is a flipped classroom, the way it works that way. So we have various CAT tools, the digital tools available for that. We can use that. Even if you are using an LMS, that will have a facility to uh, provide that. So we already have seen that the LMS with 4 quadrant will be able to give you content hosting and forum there for interaction and for assessment and other things. It will be having that part. Say Moodle or Canvas or Google Classroom or whatever. No? So what we can do is now our lecture content, because the student come after reading few of them and they have already gone through some contents. It's better that we have active learning prompts in between and let them think, let them discuss and come up with some common answers and some collaborative solutions for case-based learning or something. So we can actually make it a module kind of a thing for 10 minutes or something. And in between, we have some exercise and example based or active learning methods deployed there. Some of the platforms for support for active learning could be there. They are all documented, so you can go through that. Collaborative annotation, we already have many things for that. We have told that we have a Google Classroom, Google Docs actually. Another thing is a hypothesis, which is a annotation tool actually basically. Annotation is what I'm doing now. I'm marking on the slides. It's annotation, right? So we could have group annotation for some of the documents, for feedback, for modification and so on, so forth. So that is part of it that way. Another tool which I'm using for annotation is a marker S and M, which I have been using earlier. If you have noticed, I can even tell you that again if you are interested. SM and R. This is a tool for annotation. It remains on the screen, and whatever window you open, whatever window, PDF, your browser, whatever window you open, this will be able to write on that window, right? You will be able to write on that window, over and above, over and above. So this tool is a annotation tool which is able to write on any window that way. It's just one of the kind of a tool, and you actually need the collaborative tool that way. So it's better to have the other tools which are giving us annotation rights to whole team that way. We have whiteboards or water boards. They are available from many of the vendors, Google Jamboard, Microsoft Whiteboard, right? And even LMS may have some other plugins to provide you the kind of whiteboards to write on online that way. And if they are collaborative, that's better. That's better. It's an infinite canvas for interaction because there is no limit of space, and all of us are allowed to write and share that way, right? So we should rethink about the paper. We have been using paper for content sharing and content distribution. So that paradigm has changed actually. It's electronic version now. So we should learn all those uh, the media, electronic media, the audio media, and other kind of audio, video, and other write-ups, WordPress and Google sites, websites, and you have video maker tools or the audio generation tools and other media generation tools that way. Right. So we could actually look for SMR model. So we could actually ask what we are doing earlier. We were asking as a term project or term paper in my subject. I would be asking students to write a paper. They will write them in their privacy. Each one of them will submit and I will evaluate that way. No. So what we could do it is a joint activity where we could have a wiki kind of an area, It could be a public website or a collaborative platform where I can allow the multiple members of a team to write their paper and that kind of thing. And we can take use of that for collaborative activity, which is still the same term paper or term project that way. But now it is more interactive, and we have tools to support that actually with online kind of thing. So what I'm discussing all the way, the online is implied everywhere because then only it is collaborative. So learners are sitting at their own places and they are able to collaborate that way. Few challenges, yes. Faculty workload, yes. As a faculty, my workload will increase only to learn the tools and the technology. And this is one time, but this is required, isn't it? So let us say it's an investment, effort investment to learn the tools, to learn the technology, so that my future tasks are easier, right? So payoff is I have a better student work. I am doing things faster now, and I'm doing very less painful grading kind of thing because of almost automatically it is done automatically usually that way, right? Challenge two is about the stakeholders, learners. Not all learners are at the same bandwidth. Not all learners have the equal access to the internet and so on and so forth. So there is a digital divide among the learners, right? That has to be tackled actually. So you have to find out a common platform, a good platform which has minimum facilities for all of them together that way. So we have to actually cover up that divide if it exists among the learners that way, right? Yes, integrity and ethics is a questionable in the domain of AI, both for teacher and a learner, both way, right? Teacher and learner for both of them, right? So we have to actually uh, be in that era now and find out ways to teach learners that integrity is more important than your grades and so on and so forth that way. Tool fatigue will happen, yes, because any tool I'm using today, no, in 2025, the tools will change by 2027, and I have to keep abreast of all those. Even a single this tool itself is evolving. I have to keep track of it, or it might be changed by some other tool, T5. No, so a tool fatigue will be there because it's a technology enabled and supported that way. There is no other way. But the point is, if you stick to one LMS like Moodle or Canvas or something, that learning will be slowly a ramp up because they will change one thing at a time. That might lead me to avoid the tool fatigue all of a sudden that way, right? So this we have seen that way, and we have a lot of opportunities ahead. We have personalized pathways where each learner has its own way of learning. There is no fixed content. There is no fixed path of learning. Each learner has its own way of learning, own path of learning. He can pick and choose the way he wants to do. Module 1, Module 10, Module 9, or whatever, and that part of it. And it is, of course, turning up that there are dual degrees from the past. Now we may have different courses done from different universities, and the credit recognition might be there, right? So it's a global classroom in future, and we have to be ready for that part. It has its own pros and cons that way, right? So these are few pedagogical innovation examples. I will stress upon open education resources. You can type this and go to the site of OER, which is free for teachers, and you can use the resources shared by other teachers very freely in your own classrooms. There are many videos, there are many pictures, there are many learning kind of you can say demo, which are online demos. You can actually use those part that way. There is a virtual lab facilities by good institutes which are offered to you as a teacher. Maybe they're like IITs are offering some virtual labs in different fields. You can explore that part and go ahead that way. I think some speakers would have actually stressed upon gamification of learning that already is there and so on and so forth, right? We should actually be having a provision for faculty upgradation, right? So it's actually nowadays a continuous professional learning that way, and we should actually develop a habit of generating our own portfolios for continuous learning and what we have learned, document it, and then show that we have gone through those part that way, right? So students are not consumers now; they are the creators some way. Pedagogy is enabled by technology, yes, and now we are not just content deliverers. We as a teachers are designer of learning experiences. No, how to learn in the different ways with a kind of technology tools and other kind of things. So it's not just a monotonous delivery of content that way, right? So can we take a challenge now before next semester? Can you say that you can at least have one flip lecture in next semester, right? Let us challenge ourselves to pick at least one or more activity. Can we add one or more poll, online poll when you're teaching? You can ask a question and say, how do you feel about that kind of an experience that way? And can we have another way of assessment? at least one of them. Maybe it's a peer review, or maybe it's a multimedia option based assessment. Of course, we can take help of LMS that way, right? And this is the way I'm interacting with you. I'm also aspiring to learn from you. So you or me are not alone. We can talk to our colleagues. We can talk to our online colleagues. We can discuss on such kind of forum we are discussing now, right? And then we can go ahead with that part of it. No? So thanks from my side. The primary references are these, which I will share with you, the slides on the canvas. You can look at that. The writer is actually good. He from Singapore. He writes on these kind of activity, the paradigms more often, and long list of references there. It's a outside India, TPAC and SAMR, TPAC and SAMR, and for the topic-wise readings, we have many more references. SMR model for 4 references there. Other themes you can explore are also there. For TPAC model, four references and more of the further readings. And something on digital pedagogy, 2 more references, right? So these are references which I have gathered here, 12 references. So out of these 12, I am partitioning them. 4 here for SMR, 6 here. 6 here for TPAC, and 2 more for your digital pedagogy, right? Digital pedagogy. Thank you. If there are any questions, we can take it up. Let me see chat if you have that way. Yeah, this was more of a kind of an umbrella of our, you can say, strength, weakness, and challenges, opportunities kind of thing. So we have to look forward to kind of uh, winning our challenges and looking for opportunities and be there in the global village of learning some 5 year, 10 years afterwards where we are. No? So I'm open to discussion if you are still there. Yes, please. You can write in chat or raise your hands. You can be unmuted if you want to ask. You can even share your own experiences of if you are doing something which is with the help of technology, and you have done something different way. So you are welcome to share that actually. Somebody want to say something about his own ways, what new he has done, or after COVID they have deployed some different tools. Maybe a good feature of another LMS. Okay, so thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So if
I will
anyone
upload
have
my
question,
slides. Yeah, please. I will upload slides on Canvas. Yeah.
yes. So if anyone have no questions, so we will conclude today's session.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And have a nice day. Thank you, Arshit.
So thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. Have a great evening and see you all in the next session.